in perpetuity. You know, if aliens abduct you, they're going to still own that music.
Good morning, good noon, good evening, wherever time and place to listen to us from, straight from the 909. It's Mark.
Hey, yo.
We got Speeks Geek in the house.
Hey.
Myself, Nesquik, and together,
That's hip-hop.
Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does mean a lot. Today, we have a special episode for you guys, and we're about to put you on game if you don't already know. We're convening with a very respected figure out here in the IE, a dynamic producer, a songwriter, hailing from Pomona, California. Speeks Geek has been making waves in the music scene, and his distinctive style and creative flair is just dope. His work is characterized by a fusion of genres, blending traditional hip-hop beats with innovative electric elements, resulting in a sound that's both nostalgic and refreshingly modern. His unique approach not only showcases his versatility as an artist, but also reflects a rich cultural tapestry of his hometown. Beyond his individual projects, Speaks Geek is deeply committed to fostering community and collaboration with the music industry. He is the owner of 3 Big Games in Pomona. Big shout outs to that. The whole biz. Man, really putting on the gaming community, man.
Yeah,
on game.
Revitalizing downtown Pomona.
Yeah, which is super dope. He's actively seeks partnerships and with fellow artists, aiming to create a supportive network and encourages artistic growth and experimentation. His dedication to his craft and his community has solidified his legacy as a pivotal figure in Pomona's music scene, inspiring both emerging and established artists to explore new creative horizons. The Pomona Wonder, King of the Rooftops, Cosmic's Taste very own, Speaks Geek. Welcome to the show, brother.
Yes, sir. Hey, that's an intro right there.
Yeah. I want to say, I don't remember the exact track, but there was a track I think you were kind of contemplating this idea of actually like making it and like just like what that really meant as far as making it, because people just wanted more. They just wanted more and more and more of it. And I think it's dope that you are conscious of that, and like you stay grounded, and you're like, you know, realizing like, what am I doing this for? You know, that I think is really sick.
I'd say I have those moments where I sit and create for 2 hours and nothing because I'm trying so hard. And then it'll be like, oh, I finally finished a beat. I freestyle over it and I record everything and I freestyle over it over and over and over. I let it run for like 5 minutes, a 5-minute freestyle. And then a phrase that really like it clicks, I say something. All right. And then I go back and then I just build off of that, and I'm like, that's the feel for it, and then I just go back and I redo the whole thing.
That reminds me of there's a track where you're even experimenting with this, and you put it on, I think, SoundCloud. Somebody's playing like a guitar.
Oh, riff. Scary Pool Party.
Yeah. And you're like kind of just you got this dope riff. Like it's like you can listen to this, Mark, for like 5 or 10 minutes. It doesn't even need words because like it's so like the riff is just groovy. It's dope. And then like, but you're in real time, like figuring out the words to it.
That's the new process. When Alejandro and I we're in front of literally where shop is. We're sitting where the pizza spot PB Dub used to be. We're sitting there, and you can hear the train going by and everything. But shout out to Alejandro. That guy is like, he's out of here. If you don't know Alejandro, Scary Pool Party, he got second place on American Idol. That's the bro. Oh, yeah. So he's out of here. He's
I thought you just meant like talented. I didn't know.
Oh no, he's like talented beyond. Like if you get a chance, wow. Check out his American Idol audition. He used to do that at DBA open mics, and people would be talking over him, and like he wasn't even there, killing it.
Wow.
Like yeah.
Wait. So how did you get entangled with him? Like how did that happen?
The open mic at DBA.
Oh, that's how that
like
happened.
One time, so my girl used to work at DBA. That's how I met her. And one time I went in and I was like, yo, what are you guys playing? This is fire. And she's like, oh no, it's the dude on the stage. And I went, and that fool just sitting on a keyboard, singing his heart out. He was singing Cholo Love, like at DBA. And then I went over and I waited, I sat and I watched the whole thing. And as soon as he was done, I was like, hey, I don't know who you are, but if nobody makes it out of here, you have to, because the talent is insane. And then we became friends. We would do open mics together and stuff like that and joke around. And then one day I ran into him at the shops and he's like, hey, I think I'm going to try out for American Idol. This fool got second place. Crazy.
I think I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah. and he was doing like all originals. Like
do you know what season that was, by the way?
Like three or 4 seasons ago.
Oh, wow. Oh,
like it's recent. When they were going to end American Idol until his season. Yeah. And it was so big that now they kept doing it.
That's crazy.
Dude, shout out to Alejandro. You the man still. You the GOAT.
That's tight. I want to talk a little bit about your group. I want to talk a little bit about because when I was listening through it, you sent me.
The Cosmic Taste?
Yeah, you sent me it, and I was listening to it with my girl, and she was vibing to it. She's like, "Oh man, these guys are dope." And I was like, "Yeah." Like, I think she was expecting to hear hip hop because I was like, "Yo, he raps and stuff," but she wasn't expecting to hear the alternative music that you were bringing, and it kind of surprised me too. I'm like, oh damn, like he has a whole nother side to him, like a whole other thing. And I thought that was dope. How did you transition into that? Because you were making beats and stuff first, and then you transition now to a band style, alternative hip hop, but you still got the hip hop stuff in there.
Mm-hmm. So that's my brother Keebs, Jesus. We've been Cosmic Taste since I'd say 2010. But we only have stuff on SoundCloud, and we made only 3 songs. But that was our group thing. It was a joke. The name came to him in a dream. That was it, Cosmic Taste. And then we didn't talk for a little bit, but then the pandemic happened. And then he had his house on the hill in Pomona. And one day it was just man, brother, I miss you. I straight up, I miss you. And you're my guy, my go-to. And let's just hang out. We went, had some beers, and he's like, hey, I have a music room. And then we went in there, and then we just started labbing out Bad Habits was the first song. We made Quarantina after that. And then
that one's a sick one.
That was a banger.
Yeah, that's a banger.
And then we made Stone Cold, and then we had a bunch of throwaways that from just that meeting. We would meet every week and do music in his room. And then it's yo, we have enough for an album. You want to try to, we got a whiteboard, and then we started writing everything out. And then we ended up with a whole ass album. And
it's cool too, because it starts off kind of more the concept is there, you hear it out. And then it kind of turns into very experimental, almost just the music element kind of takes more precedent. And it's kind of cool, the transition of that. It's just something I haven't really heard.
It's so much fun. That freed me from the Speaks Geek music when I was man, I have to do something that means something. And it was I felt so in a box that getting to do Cosmic Taste was freedom, complete freedom. It doesn't matter because you're not Speaks Geek here. That's out of the window. It's Cosmic Taste. It's Dwayne and Keebs, or Seuss. There's no box. Whatever you feel, yo, you want to do that? All right, let's try it. Let's make it sound good, And then once we make it sound good, then it's a hit.
Are you guys both playing instruments on this?
I'm usually doing keys. Keebs plays drums, bass, and guitar on everything. So if there's any synth stuff, it's me, and then everything else is Jesus.
Damn, dude. You've kind of had your run-ins doing shows through the circuit and stuff like that. Anybody that you've seen locally, whether it be in Pomona, IE, LA, or anything, anybody that you saw that you were just yo, that dude's sick.
Johnny Bars. Johnny is dope. Yeah. He raps, but he'll come up with different cadences. It's never the same. And he's always saying something sometimes I have to run it back and be yo, you're really on it. You really want to do this. And you can tell he studies and practices. When I record with him, I've only done a couple things with him. He has his verse memorized. He's not reading it off a phone. He comes and it's oh,
another level already.
Yeah. I'm I envy your
hunger,
the
process,
the craft, the you wanting to be keep everything so sharp. Like people are lazy. Like and reading your verses isn't lazy, but you coming in with it already, like you know how you want to change it when you're doing like voice changes and you're performing it already. It's already done. And like he'll mess up and then hop right back in. Like it's like we record it one take and then we'll just go through each take and then eventually he's like, okay, now can we do all my ad libs? And he'll ad lib every spot. Like I don't have to like cut, punch in. No, Johnny is a one take Timmy. Like he'll do it and it's so impressive. And I love watching. I try not to be hyped because I met him playing basketball. So before he was even doing music, I've known him. And then one day I saw him at a show and he's like rapping. I'm like, bro, you do music now and you're great, you know? But like same thing. He didn't know I did music. I didn't do music when I met him. And it's Johnny Bars. If you get a chance, check him out. Damn, Modern Day Slaves that's my jam.
Damn, that's sick. You have this cool, I feel like a creative process. Like what is, are you purposely like blending different genres of music? Is that even in the mindset or you're just
I'm just doing it, like doing it to do it. If it sounds good to me, I trust my ear. My ear, I feel, is so trained that I trust my ear. If it sounds good to me, it's really good. You know, and even when I record it myself, like a rough draft, like I'm using a HyperX, like a streamer mic, you know, I just for rough drafts. But then I listen to the song like it's mixed and mastered, you know, and I'm like, it could be a rough draft and it still sounds like legit. I'll bob my head to it. I'm like, yo, this is it, you know, like it's my ear. I'm so lucky that I played stupid sound games sitting on the where the cars drive by. Yeah. My old neighbor and I, for hours when we didn't have anything to do, we'd be bored. It would be like, guess what song is playing from that car driving by? Like, get it before another game that we would, but for fun though, like, you know, and then it turns out it was helping me train my ear. Like you can hear just off a sub with the windows up, you know, oh, they're playing that. That's what, you know, so, or it's at least Lil Jon, something, you can hear it, you know? And then another thing that helped me train my ear too was like back on Power 106, you know, the traffic mix, you know, the Mickey Ficky mix and all that, like guessing the next song off of a snare or the first hit of like, oh, it's this, you know, and me and my buddy would be in the car, you know, driving wherever, and that was like a thing. And just training the ear to know what is in the same key, tempos and all that. Off of a snare, I could tell you what a song is. Like, I feel like my ear is my secret weapon for sure.
Yeah, dude. Man, that's
as tiny as my ears are. I guess my secret weapon.
You know, some might have noticed that there was this. I just barely realized that there's this background of like Kendrick Lamar with the boogeyman thing with Drake popping up behind him. The reason why we came upon that is because.
Okay, question. How do you guys feel about all those songs? And now that's a thing where people are making. Yeah, they just.
I got a new beat. Let me just slow this this track down.
All eerie and scary now.
I heard the Not Like Us eerie and scary version. It's like a new thing now. They take hit songs and make them like movie trailer, suspense trailer versions.
I gotta listen to that.
Yeah, there's a whole genre of that now.
Pass the Dutchie on your left hand side.
Now you got me curious about this one. Nas, what do you type in for that? Nas, scary version song?
Yeah, just put like movie trailer version.
Movie trailer version of Not Like Us.
Not Like Us.
Version.
All particular.
I'm waiting for a trailer to drop that song.
Movie trailer remix, trailerized by
Let's hear this crap.
Oh.
This is just a React podcast now. Oh, man, shit. Look at this.
That's stupid. That's a dumb one.
They're dropping it in Black Man.
Dude, that's the dumbest thing. Talk about a little bit about like, you know, games and stuff, and how does that fuse with everything like in your life, and you know, all, like through your music, like how does it all fuse together?
Video game music has some of the dopest music. Shout out to all those composers from back in the day. One of my favorite soundtracks is the Mega Man 2 soundtrack. They were getting down on those MIDI keyboards like back in the day. The music,
Hey, they were fire, huh? Those soundtracks.
their soundtracks are fire. And like, yeah, that's part of like my thing, making loops. I didn't understand loops, and I didn't know I understood loops until, you know, Super Mario Brothers, making a song that loops perfectly forever.
Yep.
It can go forever. The Zelda songs, all that stuff, Mega Man especially. And Mega Man songs had a bridge. Every song was like a loop, and then it goes into the bridge, and then it comes back, and then it goes, and you can do it infinite.
Or it has a water version of it.
Yeah. Or Sonic with the water versions.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, like the music is for sure. Like the games were fun, but I remember my mom letting me play her Atari. There ain't no music in it. And so when I got Nintendo, my mom, I was like, please put that away and never like bring that out again. The music is what. And then as we got Chrono Trigger on Super Nintendo, like
Chrono Trigger's a sick game, dude.
bangers. Have you ever heard Never Been on Cushion Orange Juice by Wiz Khalifa? It's a Chrono Trigger song. All they did was add drums. It's a whole thing,
Oh, shit.
front to back. But yeah, video game music is for sure one of the things that got me. Like I loved video games because it let me go somewhere else. Sometimes being at home wasn't the best, you know, like the home environment sometimes. But at least playing video games, I could black out everything and it would take me to another place, and I was hooked.
You ever heard Benefits Super Mario track?
Benefits? No.
He remixed. He was one of the early guys to like.
Yeah, he's all like, I'm trying real hard to get Mario laid. The guy who made the Super Mario song.
The Super Mario.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was one of the early guys doing that.
Damn, I'm surprised they didn't go after him.
I'm surprised too. I'm trying to go after him, man. I'm trying to get him on the show too.
You know what? Actually,
My guy's MIA.
they can't go after him because the Super Mario theme is also borrowed. Like Koji Kondo borrowed that from another.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's not even so like
it's another jazz. It's a sample from a jazz song.
Yeah.
In Japan.
That's crazy.
Right.
the Star song, the level 1-2. They're all like Pharrell. They reverse engineered it. They Pharrelled it. Yeah, they're all reverse engineered songs. The Star song, it's stolen, but he reverse engineered it too.
But it's
a classic.
Yeah, it's crazy how far back. Like, have you ever heard of the Who Let the Dogs Out? Like how far back that goes. Like it's sampled by this person,
which is sampled by
this, and sampled by that. Okay,
sampled like it's a
Kevin Bacon Engineering.
Kevin Bacon Engineering for real.
Rabbit hole.
Peace to the Streets of Rage 2 soundtrack too.
Fire. Streets of Rage. Shout out to Sega and their 32-bit blast processor that they had.
Blast processor.
Because the music sounded. It sounds so good. They have these like third-party Genesis. They don't have the whatever, if that's a real thing, the blast process chip. But I put Sonic and Knuckles in one of those, and it sounded like cheeks. It was. I was like, maybe I used to remember this wrong, and I was like, there's no way. And then I put it on a regular Genesis, and I was like, oh, there we go. Like, but there's the chip actually.
There's a blast on-off switch in the back.
In the back.
The back of the Genesis.
Dang, I remember
Blast
that
processing.
Yeah, that's why you could in the first Genesis, it has a headphone jack, and you put in your headphones, and it has a volume dial, and you could bump. Like Beats didn't exist back then, but you could bump some good headphones.
I remember the Xbox was that to me. That was when the first time I started putting like downloading music and putting
trying to test the hard drive.
Yeah, and you could play it like while you're
playing.
Yeah, that was sick too.
There's a game called is it Streets of LA? True Crime.
Oh, True Crime.
Oh, yeah.
That had a whole. They had a whole thing where you can set your music so that if there was chase
station?
music, if there was ever a chase scene, you could have your custom music, and then if there's shootouts, you can have your own playlist, and then if there's hand to hand, you can have your own. It'll rotate them, and it was so fire. It was only on Xbox though.
You'd be the producer of the video game on the music side. Everyone.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah.
You know how many games I had nothing but a G thing, straight up. Yeah. I had so many.
San Andreas figured that one out for you. Because they would give you that. Remember, they give you that one radio station on the Xbox where you're just able to listen to all your stuff on the hard drive.
That was fire.
It's funny because they're waiting on the newer version of that, but I don't know. I don't know the details on that, like why it's
Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I don't know if we're gonna get that this year,
dude. It takes video game developers decades to make like A-list games. You know, we're gone with the day and age of like 3 years to make a new game. It's like, no, like if you're making a game from scratch and not using the same engine, you're starting from the ground up, and it's going to take 5 to 7 years?
It takes a minute. Dude, they make their money back though, because Grand Theft Auto 5 is still getting played.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Grand Theft Auto 6, I don't know, man. The last thing I heard about that game, they're Rockstar suing Fresh and Fit, and I think they're gonna have a spoof Red Pill radio station. It's gonna be fire.
Because Fresh and Fit uses
their font.
Uses their font.
Yeah.
That's a crazy ass like. You're basically trying to capture society.
It is, and it's gonna be so fire because their commercials and all the little skits in there are a huge part of why.
Like all of it.
Yeah, because Laszlo in Grand Theft Auto 3 and a little bit of San Andreas was always like satire, and he was just trying to play on what was hot at the time, which is like Howard Stern.
Yeah,
and he would just get call-ins, and these are just skits upon skits. So it's cool that Rockstar kind of has a pulse on what the male demographic, especially our age, is trying to appeal to. So that's cool that if they're going to do a satire version of that,
it's going to be
perfect.
Did you you mentioned somebody I think having like their own game, and did you experiment with stuff like that, creating games and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, shout out to CyberCow Studios. They just dropped a game on Steam. The demo's out. It's called I think it's called like Night Shift. It's called Night Shift. It's like a drifting game, like Initial D, like type drifting. I worked on them on their early games. I was working on music with them. The games fell through, but they have a new game out. I didn't get to work on the music on this one, but hopefully the next one. But I love making like I think on my, I'll send it to you. I have a SoundCloud called The Tall Guy 321, and I have like, I first started producing like video game music on there.
That's the thing about you is like, you know, it's like your music's kind of like spread out in these different pockets.
I have I have a producer tag. The name's Don Dada, and because no one would buy beats off of me, so I started using beats by Don Dada.
You Jamie Foxx, the producer.
I had to do it, bro. I had to do it because no one would buy my beats. So I'd be like, then someone would be like, "Oh, who's Don Dada?" I was like, "Oh, just email him here," and it was just me. And then they would buy it from him and not me, and that was messed up.
I want to meet him, and then you have to do some like Mrs. Doubtfire bullshit.
Yeah, and like,
oh, give me a minute, I'll go get him.
Come back light skinned.
I wanted you to at least talk about it and bring it to the podcast forum, but you do have experience doing voiceovers.
Yeah, I've voice work. I'm a huge fan of voice actors and stuff like that. That's another thing with my ear training is I can tell you in a cartoon, that's so and so. You know, that's so and so. That's so and so. But Konami Hami's working on a game/show. Like a kind of animated series. And he was like, oh yeah, here's the characters. And one time I was like, I'm going to do the voices for these 3 characters, you know, and I sent it to him, and then he's like, yo, is that something you want to do? And I was like, hell yeah. Yeah. And then he's like, all right, well, you're for this character for sure. He's like, you're in. And so he's still working on it, and he's a busy ass dude, but that'll be my first like legit voice gig that I just like self-auditioned. Like I just put it out there, and he was like, that's it.
It's like the same way you found your opening act.
Hey, there it is. You need to find $1 million, and I was trying to, hey, someone kicked me out of a plane and do $1 million.
Yeah.
Wanted to ask you, you know, your name is, you know, is different. It's cool. Like,
Hilarious.
and I'm sure there's been mispronunciations, misspellings, like
brother, spelling it would be every flyer. It would be spelled wrong. And then it was like, I would start being mad at myself. Like, why did you try to be different? You know, because
it's my fault.
It's my fault. Because when I was trying to come up with a logo for something, I was like, refresh. Like it's the arrows, right?
Oh yeah.
And so the EE and the EA and between the refresh. So that's where it Speaks Geek. Like why it's switched. Because my sound is like different. It's like something new. And yeah, shit bit me in the ass. Like every flyer. And then I'd be like, hey, my name's spelt wrong. You know the Instagram that you hit me up on where it's spelt right? Yeah, you guys spelt it wrong. He's like, well, the dude that did the flyer, he's not doing it again. I already paid him, so he's not gonna do it again. And I'm like, but you hit me up on the where it was spelt correctly, and they're like, well, what do you want to do? You want to not do the show? And I'm like, okay, I guess. So then it got to the point where I would just like cross out everyone's name on the bill and just spell my name correctly over everyone's names, and then just post that. And then eventually over time, like I stopped doing those. I would be like, hey, can you make sure that my name is spelled correctly?
Yeah.
And then if it's not, like, it's okay. I just won't do the show. Like I know it still sounds the same, but that's not my name.
Yeah, you're making a stance on it. Yeah. Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was a whole
There'd be events where it's just like, oh fuck, they spelled his name wrong.
spelled my name wrong. Yeah, man, it's like, I mean, I'm not DJ Quick, but if you would have spelled his name correctly, like how it's supposed to be spelled, I'm sure he would have been pissed too.
You know they got his name right. What the hell?
Hey, one time on the Fox marquee, it wasn't. And yeah, and
With
then
the C?
with the CK, and then everyone he got wind of it, and then that shit was fixed in an hour.
Dang.
But that was wild. But yeah, my
You
name's
said DJ Quick.
Yeah.
That's where my name came from. Like I like all the stuff that I like, which is the Geek Park, and I talk about it. And that was it.
You know, speaking of, you mentioned DJ Quick. Have you ever had any run-ins with any special like artists who are like kind of bigger in the mainstream like that?
Let's see. I ran in. Oh, when I got to perform before Black Star went on at the Fox,
Yeah.
and that was sick. Like I like got to kind of just say what's up to most stuff, but that was it. It was like he was in a like his own little zone or whatever, and I was just like, what? Like that's sick. I kept it cool though, but I was just like, huge fan. It kept going.
Man. Even to do that. Though,
Yeah, I was just like,
it's hard to even get to that.
Yeah,
like,
it was cool.
the guts to do that.
At the Fox. Yeah, the last time they played at the Fox. And I was like,
that's in Pomona, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay. Damn. I didn't know they
A
performed.
while back, bro.
yeah.
A while back.
They were that close, huh, to us. And now
they-
it seems like it's very far distance niched, to get to them. But then he did something with Alchemist, so
Oh, yeah, he's doing live streamings of new music in outside of the States.
yeah.
So he's found a way to make some money like that.
Everyone is making money. I love that everyone's figuring out a way to do it without the old machine. Yeah. Shout out to La Russell too for like, if you don't know who La Russell is, like he's from Vallejo, California, from the Bay, and he's like putting the whole new blueprint for the independent artists. Like
What is he doing?
He started with like the Pagola. That's like the stage in his backyard. So he started doing shows in his backyard, and then they started selling out, and then he would do like pay what you feel it's worth, the experience. And then and then he was letting people like buy a piece of the music. So you could pay for a part of a new song that drops off, like, oh, I want to buy 20% of the new song. That's crazy. And now you get royalties forever.
That's crazy.
And like he's just been building it. Then eventually he was like on T-Pain took him on tour. He like everyone goes to his backyard show now, and like it's turned. But if you get a chance, check out LaRussell, just how he's giving the example of how you can do it is so sick. Like you can do it. It just takes more work, and you have to put yourself out there. You can't people want to wait for the machine to do it for them. You have to be the machine, and whatever you want to do, it's 1,000 shots a day. You have to put that in. Yeah. And like he's writing books now, his clothing, he's a millionaire now, but he started off like the idea of like doing it himself. The most recent video that I saw that really like he drops gems. He really drops. I highly recommend checking him out. LaRussell. He was talking about how he started with an idea, like digging a hole. You start by digging a hole. He's like, I don't even know what I'm digging to, you know? But as he started digging the hole, he's like, you know what? We could put some water in here. Now we have a pool. And then he's like, you know what? We should put some lights around here. We should put some and then he built you. By the time you keep digging, you'll come up with more ideas for what to do with this hole as you're digging it. But if you don't dig anything, you're not going to come up with any ideas to build on what you're building on. And that I was just like,
it's like Gary Vee shit.
Yeah, his whole page is like that. Yeah, and I highly recommend anyone trying to do anything, just even if you don't listen to the music, listen to the gems. He drops heavy gems like all day. It's dope. It's dope.
Crazy. That's dope. That is dope. I was going to ask you, with the current industry, the current things that are going on, I'd like to hear your take on, the stuff that's happened with like Drake and like Kendrick Lamar, like your take on, how that rolled out and how that like up to this point, like what are your thoughts about, did you side with Kendrick, or did you just kind of like both? Were you a fan?
I was a heavy Drake. I'm not gonna lie, I was a heavy Drake fan. Like he had the top music, like as far as production, and someone that's versatile, right? As far as like rap, he would rap, but like it's not. I don't know. It's like the person, it's very like braggadocious, whatever. But the music, it was like solid sonically. It's really good music. I thought after a certain point, I had kind of fallen off of it because it was the same thing over and over and over and over. And I was like, all right, whatever. But yeah, the Kendrick thing, it's always been dope. And it sounds like when I hear it, it feels like a real person. Like this is what I'm talking about. And it just kept changing. He kept changing and evolving and I was like, man, the real though, you can't take anything away from the real. And then I don't know. Eventually I was just like, man, I mean, I've been since like 2015, I'd say 2016 is when, Section 80, since then, it's always been, Drake was a bigger artist at the time, but as time was going on and as I got older and more mature and stuff like that, I could relate more to the Kendrick stuff than I could the Drake stuff. The Drake stuff would just started to looking like a fantasy more than it was like a real thing, as to where the Kendrick stuff, you're rich, but you're talking about something that I can still relate to. You're talking about your feelings or how, something made you feel. Yeah, like I could relate to that more. So then when he started getting on his head, I was like, hell yeah. It's like, man, he did all that to you on a beat though. Like that's crazy. On a beat. Yeah, he did all like on a beat. It's on wax, on tempo and everything. Like it was beautiful to be able to see someone like not destroy someone. He did just like do a lot, but it was just like, man, but the song's actually good too. Like if he wasn't talking about Drake, the music's still good.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think? What are your thoughts about like, this coming like Super Bowl and stuff like that? What are you?
I'm just excited to watch like Kendrick. Usually when I go see, I think the only tour that I've missed is the Damn tour. But every time I go see him, it's a show. It's like watching how I used to watch Kanye. Like, it's like watching that. It's like the top production, the top, it's dope.
I know you're a big Kanye fan and stuff like that.
Oof.
What was like, what album of his like got you?
College Dropout. Someone showed me that on my first time going to Mexico.
Oh man.
And he was like, check this out. And I've always been like a Jay-Z, like the Rockefeller Records. Yeah, that was like the shit. I would listen to that. I would listen to clips. I have no idea knowing so much about cocaine as and like knowing everything. But I did. It was what I listened to. And yeah, sorry, losing my train.
Kanye West,
Dropout. Yeah, College Dropout. I was like, man, you can be on, like, he's being honest. And that's like another thing. When I started rapping, that was a huge influence. Just be honest. Like, tell people who you are so they know who they're listening to. And yeah, Kanye, College Dropout. Even though, Consequence wrote pretty much most of that, the way that he performed it, it felt like it was him. So the beats he produced most of it, like a good chunk of it. And Kanye's funny as hell. Like on the delivery, the skits, like it's hilarious. That is like a forever album to me. The first three are like, it's a beautiful trilogy. They're great.
Yeah, they're dope.
Now I can't. It's hard to listen to some Ye, bro. It's hard. It's hard to feel it. I can't feel it. But
you still have the benefit of the doubt. He has a lot of artistic credibility to where like you have to give him the benefit of the doubt to listen to him.
But the person is still the music, and it's hard for me to root for the person when like the person's like spiraling and spazzing. It's hard. It's like Kanye always spazzed. That's always been a thing, but now it's like
it's on the whole
Super
Saiyan spazzing for
it's
real.
Like the blue hair Super Saiyan.
Now he's on Super Saiyan 5. It's a white hair.
Yeah.
Like, this shit ain't even real. He has a sword now. But it is what it is. But yeah, I used to be like a super fan. Some of my best friends, that's like why we were so close, is like the Kanye, being a fan of Kanye. But
that's a thought of mine though. Like, that saying about you're the hero, but you live so long to become the villain. Like, do you guys think there's some truth to that? Like, as an artist, like you're putting out so much music, eventually you just become like this, you get lost kind of and become like this figure that's just like kind of superficial at the end of the day.
Take a break.
Yeah.
No, I think a lot of artists, like the Drake thing, he drops an album every year. It's like, bro, go away for a little bit. Go live some life.
Right now, I thought it would have been a good time to disappear.
No. You gotta
let people miss you, and then like
you gotta do the face-off surgery with somebody and come back for real. You gotta come back different. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
You gotta come back as Bruno Mars or something. You gotta do something different,
dude.
I don't know, like
MGK route.
Yeah, something.
My thing is that if you're an artist that is like squeaky clean, like the variable with Kanye is that he just screwed up a lot.
Okay, yeah.
And he still comes out with music that people could still appreciate. But if it's a gentleman that's like really just squeaky clean record, all that, like has never done any legitimate bad things. I mean, that hate that they're gonna get, the hate doesn't come from the top at that point. Mm-hmm. But you also have to be squeaky clean.
True.
The first person that I just thought of right now was like Frank Sinatra, who was kind of like consistently squeaky clean, but no one likes the fact that he goes on stage with a drink. And then,
they find
like
something.
Maybe he just drinks too much.
Yeah.
Like there's always going to be something, but it's like not a lot of people can hate on Frank Sinatra.
Yeah. That's interesting. I was just thinking about that because.
But it's true though. Yeah. The people are still going to find something wrong with you. Like on the come up, Kanye was he couldn't be phased. No. But it's like, okay, the saying goes is like never meet your heroes. we are in a day and age of digital media.
We met him.
We see our
daily.
heroes
Every
like
day.
this.
Yeah.
Literally, hold on, like this.
Just like,
Yeah.
And we see his true self because he's always out there. I mean, look, he
Won't
literally
get off of Twitter.
Yeah, literally. I don't know whether that was his girl or not, but at the Grammys, he had
how she
some
was,
chick
like,
just
kinda
straight up
fully, like,
naked.
naked, yeah.
That's typical Kanye stuff.
That was wild.
That's wild.
Like, bro,
Was that his girl?
that's his wife.
that's his wife.
Oh, well,
Just make it a painting, bro, or something. I don't want to see it in real life.
yeah. So
You're crazy. Isn't that crazy where you're like, damn, you just wonder, like, man, I wonder what it looked like. And now you're like, man, I wonder what it looked like covered up, like in a nice coat. Like, I wonder what she looked like in a nice, do something different.
yeah,
A visor, some shoes, socks. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
you're a special woman to me. Here, dress in this.
Yeah, get butt
this,
naked.
This not long ass nylon.
Yeah, we going to the Grammys. I love you. Get butt naked.
I wanted to ask you, there was this video, I forgot about this one. There was this video on YouTube where you guys are playing as a band, you're practicing or something, and then some woman comes in, tells you guys to turn it down or something. What was that about?
It was a neighbor. We were practicing at Battencourt's house, the guitarist, and she like came in and she wanted to like sing, and then when they started playing for her to sing, she like, I don't know, got embarrassed, and then she was like, well, I just really wanted you to turn it down. I was like, well, why didn't you just say turn it down? And then like, we're some fools. So shout out to all of them. The band was awesome. Playing with the live band was sick.
Yeah, she was like, turn it down, and then she was like,
I suck.
oh,
Turn this off.
I sing, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Like, you just told us to turn it down.
Yeah, but now you want to sing. There you go. She like flipped it on us. It's like, you wanted to just sit in on practice, you could.
But no, kudos to you, because you were straight up. You were like, well, we're practicing right now. Maybe another time.
Yeah.
She's like, well, no, I sing. And like, okay, I guess.
Hey, I'm never gonna be like, well, I don't want to hear you sing, because what if I miss out on like
The next.
What if
so
it
yeah,
was, like-
something incredible.
Yeah.
Susan Boyle, I don't know, like
Scissor or something.
yeah. Well, how would I know? I can't judge a book by its cover. If you got the pipes, I'm like, what are you doing here?
But it's funny because as Speaks started to sing, like he took over, like because after she wasn't singing, he took over, and then she just walks out abruptly, and then he closes the garage door, and then like they turn it up, like
Oh, yeah.
she starts singing
Yeah.
louder. That was dope.
Oh, that's funny. Shout out to the old band.
Nice.
That was dope. What were you guys practicing for?
For a while we were doing live shows. I had a bunch of friends from other bands. Battencourt, where the garage we were practicing in, that guy owns O'Donovan's now. So like,
That's crazy.
yeah, he's next level. So yeah, we would do shows where we would have a full band playing the songs and stuff like that
That's
too.
dope, dude. That's like always like been a dream of mine. Like
It's so
perform
sick.
with the live band.
It's so
because
sick.
they adapt to you. So like wherever you go, improvisational, whatever. They can like adapt to that too.
Yeah, there's another video called Speaks Geek and the 8-Bits Saxovision, where my buddy had a GoPro on his sax at the show we played, and we had like renditions of songs mixed in with the songs, because the band was so good. I'd be like, hey, what if we mix this song with this song?
mesh it?
Yeah, and
That's
then
crazy.
we'd practice it like 3 times, and then it would be locked in, and it's like, man,
dope.
They're good too. You
they're
can tell.
good.
Yeah, you
They're
can tell
so
they're
good.
Yeah, because they were playing like straight up professional like level. I could tell.
Yeah, I was the amateur for sure in the whole situation. Everyone was so seasoned, and I was just like, man, thank God they're so good. Because
Yeah, it gives you
Yeah.
a good backdrop, right?
Yeah.
Like the background, because they could carry the back while you just like do your thing. Like
if I like fell off the stage or something,
would still work.
they'd rock
yeah,
it.
they
Still.
would just pick it
They
up.
just
Yeah.
look at you and just
Yeah,
Be
they'll
like,
just
hey.
turn up the volume and like
yeah.
Hey, cut his mic.
solo,
Yeah.
do a solo or something. Like
Put the drum set in front of you, all passed out.
roll the drummer in front of us.
Wheel him out. Cut his mic. He's screaming too loud. He in pain.
Yeah.
That's tight. Well, man, we could go longer.
I'm so sorry. I'm like, I was like, damn. I hope I'm not extending this. I don't shut up sometimes. But thank you guys again for having me.
Yeah, man.
Also, keep doing what you guys are doing. The hip hop community, they need this. They need you guys to do this. You guys do beautiful, amazing hip hop content. Just not just hip hop content, but the content in general. It's well put together. You guys have your thoughts well put together while doing it. It's fun. It's fun to watch. Even I play it for people that aren't hip hop fans, and they enjoy the content, and it gets them into. So they start looking for certain character or certain artists to start dabbling in, or find their own hip hop artists. You know. So thank you guys for really doing what you do. Hey, having me on here is crazy because you guys really cover some dope hip hop like stuff, topics and everything.
I had to, man, because I feel like, you know, it's like people that I'm a fan of, and Mark is a fan of, like, and Ali, like all of us, we want to, like, you know, we're on the same thing. Like, we want to just build the community up and like talk about it. Like, you know, everybody who's been an inspiration or who's doing it, like, that's special. You know, we want that to be recognized. It's kind of like our underground version of Drink Champs in a way. It's like, that's
how it feels.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you have to say to the fans watching out there? You know,
anything to say? Just keep rocking, keep being yourself. Whoever's ruling the free world and running it, it's out of at this point, it's out of your control sometime. Yeah. Don't let that change your whole, like, who you are because of something you can't control. Just keep rocking. Like, be kind to each other, and that's it, pretty much. Don't quit. Just keep digging that hole.
And check out Speaks music, man, please. Like,
I promise I'm dropping stuff this year. I promise.
You heard it here first.
I promise.
And you know what, too? I want to say this, because I said this to Speaks as well. You know, sometimes we just have to appreciate the artists for what they are, you know, and, you know, it's like we can't ever like put this thing on them, because, like, we just got to let them do them. Like, I'm grateful for what you've put out, for the timing of when you did it, what you did. Even if you were to never, ever put something out, you're still legendary in my book because of what you already did.
I appreciate it.
And when you do put something out, that's just the cherry on top each time. So that's the way I see it. And, man, I appreciate you know, what you've, you know, put out there in the world. Like, to me, that's very inspirational. And I need you guys to all check out Speak stuff. Like, give him some love, you know, share his stuff. Like, he's going to be your new favorite artist, I bet you. So check out his stuff.
Pete Gang.
SPEEKSGEAK.
Nice. And then, of course,
hell yeah.
Just slow down everybody's shit.
Sick.
Go ahead, Mark, man. Let the fans have it.
To the MCs, if you drop a mic, drop a like.
Peace out, everybody. Till next time. Peace.
Ooh, can I show you guys a song?